Really? You've got one job. Why won't you just do it? Hi. You're probably wondering why I'm sitting here in front of my fireplace, mahogany bookcase, and fancy musical instrument. Well, today at That's What We Said, we have an important message regarding the friend zone and how to get out of it. We hope that you'll enjoy it. I know that I will.
Alright everyone, today we're going to talk about the friend zone. This is going to be part 2 of our series. If you guys haven't seen the first one, the link will be down in the description box.
This is a pretty big one. A lot of the time, girls don't know that you're interested in them. You're like we've said with all these other things, you're maybe not giving them the right signs.
Yeah.
So ask them out. Maybe don't make a huge thing out of it. I personally like to kind of play it a little bit where I'm like, okay, if I show interest and she doesn't show it back, then we could still be friends. If you don't ask them out, they're not going to know. And then you might get upset and be like, why didn't she figure this out? And it's like, you didn't come right out with it.
You can't read it in another person's mind. So, and I talked about this on our dating deal breakers of like actually properly asking a girl out. If you don't use the word date, I don't think it's a date.
Yeah, sometimes it's just like getting lunch with a friend.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, I might not call it a date. I'll just say, hey, let's get some food, and then see if we hit it off there. And then I'll be like, all right, that was sort of a date-ish thing. And then I'll mention like we got to do this again.
Yeah.
And it's just, so it seems kind of obvious. I play it a little bit safe. Some people are a little bit more bold, and I recommend if you're able to do that, I think that's a pretty beneficial,
I feel like if you say like, I'd love to take you out for dinner sometime, that seems way more like a date than, hey, let's grab lunch together. It's in the wording, it's in the way that you do that. Having that actual, I'm going to ask you on a date. And if they say no, or they say that they're not interested, and if it's a good friend of yours, they will try to spare your feelings.
And be prepared to possibly get shot down. There's been some times where, I don't know, I was just like, this is going to work. I don't need any sort of a backup plan. But just like, I don't know, have some sort of way to save face and come back from getting shot down. Because there's been some times where I'm just like after, I'm like, oh yeah, we should go out sometime. And they're like, yeah, no, and I'm just like,
and then you're like,
That's when it makes it really awkward. And that's something, I don't want to say you should be scared of, but I think that's a lot of what people are fearful of, is the rejection and just like the dead silence and like, what do I say now?
And the thing is, the guy if it's the guy that's asking out on a date, if she says no, if you still want to be friends and you genuinely actually do care about this person as a friend, I would think you do not make it awkward afterwards. It's a funny story 6 months down the line, but it's your job to not make it awkward. Be like, okay, that's totally fine, move on to the next topic.
All right, so this one is important to me. It might be less important to others, but I think it's huge to take care of yourself. It might not necessarily help you a ton, depending on the person that it is, but it's not going to hurt you. Taking care of yourself consists of exercising at least a little bit, wearing decent clothes, maybe stuff that doesn't have holes in it and smell bad, bathing to the point where your skin looks good and you smell nice.
Just proper hygiene.
Mm-hmm.
For guys and girls. I would think by the time you get to our age, that's pretty standard.
For the most part it is, but you'd be surprised occasionally. All right, so this one is really important. It's creating a demand for yourself.
Yes.
If you're interested in a person, you don't just be like, I'm interested in you and you're the only person and blah, blah, blah. That's the kind of person that gets like devastated when they get shot down. Keep your options open. That will be more attractive to the person you're trying to get at. And I'm pointing at you like I'm trying to holler at you. Show that like, hey, other people are attracted to me. If you don't want to get with me, then somebody else will. And it very often works in your favor.
I think it's to remind them, this is specifically for guys that are in the friend zone. As a female, I talk to my close guy friends about stuff that I do with my girlfriends. But you want to remind her, if you want to get out of the friend zone, that you are still a man. In the best way possible, sometimes we call you one of the girls.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, because I'm in everybody's friend zone? Wait, why?
No, you're not in everyone's friend zone, but I'm saying like when like me and Asha and Alice and all of us hang out and you hang out with us, like we say things to you or whatever because you're considered like one of the girls in a sense. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, no, but he's actually a man. And so it's that
I'm a man. Sometimes I have to take off my shirt and remind them and be like, nothing else! That's all you get! We'll see you sons of bitches next Tuesday! Woo! See these are titty muscles. Ugh.
You probably don't want to say titty though.
I say no, I'll just show them my bulge. Yeah!
Check the yoga video down there for that. But it's to remind them that, hey, I'm a man. Or if you're a girl who's in the friend zone, you know, of a guy dressing sexy for a thing or just whatever it is, to remind them, hey, you know, you think I'm one of the guys, but don't forget, I still have tits.
That's true. And I mean, we're basically in a society where a lot of communication gets clouded from all types of, you know, advertising, marketing, just how people think. And sometimes just something that goes down to like the animal element of what humans are is showing them that you are a viable mate. And like maybe they were missing out on something if they were not attracted to you. And when they see somebody else is trying to get at you, you know that's happened to you, where you see somebody that like got a new boyfriend, a girlfriend, or somebody trying to get at them, and you're like,
oh,
wait. Oh shit, they are sexy. How did I miss that?
It's because you kind of sometimes forget that because you know them so well, or you know them in a different capacity, and just kind of, tapping into that primal of like, oh, people are attracted to this person. People do want to date this person. People do want to fuck this person. And then you're like, oh shit, what am I missing out on? Or, oh, wait, she's a woman.
This is another kind of important thing too. It helps to know a little bit about her because she's not going to be attracted to you if you guys have nothing in common. I don't do it too much. Some people do it more than others. Facebook stalking. Find out what you got in common without being like, I know everything about you and I'm identical.
I will honestly admit I am a phenomenal online stalker in the sense that one of my friends had met this guy and she was like, oh, I thought he was cute, and he like texted me and I was like, well, let me find out a little bit about him. And like 3 Facebook clicks later, found his Facebook profile, his Instagram, his IMDb. I consider it vetting.
Okay, so it's good to know a little bit about them because you don't want to waste time and commit all this crap to somebody that you have nothing in common with. But for me personally, I get in my own head when I see too much about them, and I'm just like, I expect to have everything in common. There was one girl that I looked on her profile back, this is in the MySpace days, and she was into like metal music and just all this stuff. But she was interested in me, and I felt like I lowered my status just because I was like, I don't have anything in common with her, and she has all these groups of people that can. So I feel like I knew too much, and some girls can balance it out and just kind of bury all that knowledge they have and release it when they need to. Other people, like me, can let it get to their head and be like, oh my God, I got to find something in common, when it's like, just be yourself. And then other people, I know some people that release that information too conveniently, and it's really, 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 really sketchy, at least for me to deal with.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I'm like, how did you know that I like that band? Or how did you play 3 bands in a row that
You're telling me this story.
There was a woman who played some like obscure underground electronic music. She played like some music from the first concert I had ever been to in the 90s. And then just like one other genre of music where I was like, all right, one is just coincidence. 2 is like, all right, that could be a little bit of a coincidence. 3, I was like, that's too on point.
Asha's ex straight up told her, he was like, oh, I was Googling you. Don't ever tell someone you were social media stalking them.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you are. And then if they start telling you little stories, do not actually be like, oh yeah, I saw that on your Facebook, Instagram. Be like, oh really? Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, just play dumb and basically, fuck, why can't I talk? I had it going somewhere. Okay, all right. So find the balance of Facebook stalking that works for you.
Yeah, use it as more of like a background check or like a vetting than like actually research. Or like, oh, this person is super into fitness and CrossFit and I sit on the couch all day. Maybe that won't work. Like, use it as more that than like, oh, let me go stalk his like sister's boyfriend's kid to like be like, oh, we have in common because we both like Transformers or whatever the fuck.
And this is a good one too, although don't be too manipulative with it. But if you find out like a kind of music she likes, you can create a Pandora station and like, I'm sorry, no, you don't tell them all this stuff. I've never actually done this, but I'm like, that would be such a great idea. So you create like a Pandora station with that as a seed, and then just kind of have other kinds of music, and then you're just like, you're able to casually, oh, you like that? Check this shit out, and it's. But if you don't like the music at all, and you're coming up with all this shit,
don't make it up. Like, have it more of a tool if you actually do like the band, and use it as like a jumping point to be like, hey, we have this in common. Oh wow, we have this in common. Instead of I'm gonna use this as like I totally like this band and start doing that's creepy.
All right.
So this is kind of my one gripe with this term of friend zone. It's that there's nothing wrong with being a friend to someone of the opposite sex.
No.
And you shouldn't have any sort of entitlement that just because you're a guy and you're nice to her, that she has to date you or that you deserve anything back in return. Because then that's not a true friendship. What we're talking about today is more, little things of like, if you like someone and you want to date them. But all in all, if they say no, or if they're not interested, and we've given you a lot of examples of if they're not interested, it is not their fault.
No, it's not. And I mean, honestly, if you do a few of these things, you're going to create attraction. Like, don't get infatuated or obsessed with somebody. I mean, that is one of the things that'll really throw you into a friend zone. Don't get infatuated or obsessed. Like, go out there and talk to other people and do these things that we said if they are something that appeals to you. And you will find somebody that's a better fit for you because of it.
Yeah, don't just focus on that one person just because they're your friend or you like them and you think that they're amazing. I promise you, a year from now, 2 years from now, 10 years from now, you won't even care.
Mm-hmm. That's something I used to definitely get a little caught up, and I could not forget about a girl. And then, like, once I started playing the field pretty consistently, it was just like, oh, I'm in love with her. I would still be super in love with a girl for a minute, and then I'd be like, all right, she shot me down. Next. That's the thing that I say. I'm like, it might be a little stab to the heart for a second, but I'm like, next. And it's just like 2-3 weeks later, you might be like, oh, she's still attractive, but I'm cool. I found something else since.
Because why would you want to date someone that doesn't want to date you or doesn't want to date who you are? Yes,
because somebody not wanting you is attractive.
Yeah, unfortunately it is.
And be aware of that and just know that
it's true. But why would you want to date someone if they are saying no to you? What are you keep focusing on it? Yes, but there could be someone else that likes you. That could be a better fit for you.
I think this is an important thing too. Sometimes it's from laziness. It's like a person that maybe you're at work with and you're just like, she's pretty cute and whatever. I want something to happen, but you're not going out and like talking to other people and things like that. And you're just playing it at your convenience and maybe you're making that person the villain in your mind for not liking you. And it's like, no, go out to a few other places and you'll find some people. And it's like that person won't even matter.
Yeah, because, I mean, if you think about your own personal world of how many people you actually interact with, it's such a small group that if you just find, is your soulmate going to be one of the 300 people in your high school class or the 50 employees in your office? Probably not. But if you are so infatuated with that and that, you're going to close off yourself to everything else.